The sneakiest compulsion isn't always washing, checking locks, or reassurance-seeking in one form or another. Sometimes it's checking you, checking how anxious you feel, checking whether the thought is still there, checking whether you handled it just right. And it sounds so reasonable that OCD gets to hide in plain sight. You'll say, I'm just seeing where I'm at, or I'm just monitoring my progress, or I need to know if this is actually getting better or not. But here's the brutal truth. The moment you start checking your internal state to actually feel safe, you've turned recovery into a performance review, and your brain learns one lesson. This feeling is actually important. This thought is dangerous, and we better keep scanning. That's why it spikes, and that's why it actually sticks. Not because you're doing it wrong, but because you're teaching your attention to treat uncertainty like a problem that needs constant supervision, that needs to be solved. So the shift isn't stop noticing. You can't actually do that. The shift is to stop treating noticing like a signal to investigate. Your job is not to get the perfect internal reading. Your job is to build the skill of responding while you're unsure, because freedom isn't waking up and never feeling triggered again. It's being triggered and not turning that into a project. You notice the thought, the feeling, the urge, and instead of running a mental diagnostic, is this normal? Is this better? Am I calm yet? You practice the response that actually rewires this. Acknowledge it's there, allow the discomfort to be present, and refocus your attention back onto more helpful things. That's the moment that you stop feeding the OCD loop, not by winning the battle, but by refusing to enter it. One of the hidden compulsions in OCD is actually asking yourself this question: how am I feeling right now? Did I just get an intrusive thought? What's going on? What's happening with me? When you start investigating yourself like that all the time, you're looking for certainty. How should you be feeling? You start kind of telling yourself that whatever's present in that moment is not okay, that you need to change it in some way. You're judging yourself. You're winding yourself up. And it's because we're not learning how to be content and happy with ourselves in the moment. We're telling ourselves that, whatever's going on is not quite enough. There should be something else present. There should be more comfort. We should be feeling calmer. We shouldn't be getting any intrusive thoughts at all. And so when we constantly check and we're on the lookout, for whether any of that negative stuff is actually there, we're almost kind of inviting it in. It might come in just because we're so fixated, on looking out for it. It actually comes in, kind of through a side door, and suddenly it's right there in our face. And it's making the OCD worse. Getting out of this trap is something that you can absolutely do, but what it involves is actually learning when you feel that urge to check, to postpone, to not do anything about that urge, to observe it, to feel it, but to recognize that you don't have to respond to that urge with taking action. Actually, what you can do instead is to refocus your attention elsewhere, onto more helpful things, the stuff in your life that you actually care about, the people, the things, the activities that you want to focus on. By actually not taking any action at all in terms of checking or trying to get rid of something, that's actually how you do actually begin to get rid of it in the long term. And if this is you, if you're stuck checking your internal state all day and calling it progress tracking, then you don't need more insight. You need a structure that trains a new response until it becomes automatic. And that's exactly why I built my Break Free from OCD program, to help you step by step follow this framework to be able to reduce rumination, drop safety behaviors, and rebuild your life around values with clear tools, weekly guidance, and a path that you can actually follow when your brain is loud. If you're tired of doing recovery in your head and you want real momentum in the real world, this program was made for you. You can head over to my website, robertjamescoaching.com, and book in there for a free discovery call. There's a link in the show notes. Many thanks, and I'll see you next time. This video is for education only. It's not therapy or medical advice. If you're struggling, please speak with a licensed mental health professional.